All right. We should be recording now. So, all right. What's going on, everybody? My name's Drew Hedinger. And I'll allow the other boys to introduce themselves. We're going to be doing a gaming podcast called Pressplay. So, without further ado, you guys can all introduce yourself.
All right. I'm Troy. I'm, college student. I play games in my pastimes like most college students do. So hope you guys enjoy the podcast.
And I'm Drayton Grissom, and I too am in college and haven't had much time to play games, but I miss it. So this is a good way to look back on what we've done and kind of talk about our history with gaming. So what's our first topic here that we were going to talk about? We said
right. So our very first question of this podcast is going to be the first game we've ever played. So I'll go ahead and start it off. So the first game I ever played was on the PS2. My dad owned the system. It was on the PS2. I believe it was GTA San Andreas was the first game I ever played. So that's some great parenting right there. Yeah.
Starting violent. I love it already.
Oh yeah.
No wonder the man you turned into today. I really wonder what happened there.
I used to tell my dad I wanted to beat up the hookers.
Beat up hookers.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
God.
So that's probably where my mental state just started, like why I'm so deranged right now.
It's funny because none of it. I can't wait to dive into the history of Drew Hedinger right now. This is going to be so much fun.
We're going to learn.
Tell.
First-hand account right here.
Yes, sir.
Should have named it the story of Drucifer.
The story of Drucifer. That should be an episode.
That's a story for another day.
Shit. Oh yeah. So cool.
I guess I'll go next. My first game, also probably equally maybe as bad. His is probably a little worse. It was also on the PlayStation 2. I was probably about 6 or 7. I played Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which
Jesus Christ.
Most of you I'm sure know about it, but ripping spinal cords out of players and beating them, knocking them off buildings isn't exactly something maybe a 6 or 7-year-old should be doing, but it was fun. My favorite Mortal Kombat personally, but yeah.
Some Mortal Kombat. So you all are going to be disappointed with mine then.
Damn it.
So Drew over here's playing GTA when he's like, how old were you, would you say? You were...
I think I was 3. 3 or 4.
I think you were 3.
3 or 4.
So 3 or 4. Troy, how old were you when you played?
All right, 6 or 7, I'm going to guess.
6 or 7. Okay. So 6 or 7-year-old Dre over here. PS2, or I got a PlayStation 3 for Christmas, right? But it could play a PS2 and PS3 games. So, but I didn't play the PlayStation 3 game that came with it. Instead, I played SpongeBob. So that's what I'm saying. So we got GTA and we got freaking Mortal Kombat, and then there's me playing SpongeBob and crap. And it was the SpongeBob game that was like Dreamland or something.
I only really know Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, there was one before that. It was a dream game, kind of like you got to play as Patrick, SpongeBob, and Plankton.
Okay. Yeah, I think I might have played that at your house. Was it Battle for Bikini Bottom? Was that one or no?
No. It was a different one. I can't remember.
The only one I ever played was the movie game, and I loved that game. Played on the GameCube.
Yeah. No. I don't know, but I guess going off of that, after I played that, I played the PlayStation 3 game. It was Spider-Man 3. And I couldn't figure out that the sticks were buttons. So I freaking, at one point it's like, use your Spidey sense, and it was like L3 and R3 or something like that. Okay. And I couldn't figure it out. So I'm sitting there spamming the triggers, trying to figure out, well, one says R1, one says R2, 1 + 2 is 3, so why isn't it working?
Yeah.
But that was my first experience in my first game. I would say.
Believe it or
as far
not,
as-
that still confused me for a while, even into when I was in 12, 13-year-olds.
Same here.
Just because most games, Call of Duty, we just knew left stick was run. And then
Yeah.
other games, some games wouldn't even use it.
No, a lot of
So
games
then-
didn't unless you
And
were
other
crouching.
games abused it. So it was hard to get used to using the sticks when like some games
yeah.
required it and some didn't.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah, and
Spider-Man
then-
3 for that.
I tell you what, that was the hardest game I ever played. I tell you what, I remember there was one part. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a part where a chandelier falls.
That is the
towards you.
part that I got stuck
Oh
on
my
for like
God.
a year, I think.
I remember you helping me. I remember we played it and you helped me and you were like, yeah, you just do this. And it was like hold square to like do a super punch or something, but it just would not work. You couldn't do it.
Little did you know
So-
that it took me like a year to figure that out, though, too.
On the other side of town, Drew was
Yeah.
struggling to fight
Yeah.
the same battle.
One of the
I
worst
don't- it's just-
experiences, though, still was the final boss on Turok on Xbox 360.
Oh,
no.
no.
It was the T-Rex, and you had to like damage him like a certain amount or so, and there were like these little rocket like sentry turrets like set up around. You'd have to go to him and shoot him. That motherfucker took probably like 100 shots to kill, and that was the first time I ever spiked a controller, and the only time. I mean, I've thrown him across the room, but I've never truly spiked one since then.
Right.
I think I was at your house when you killed it. Because you're like, dude, this boss is so hard. You're like, I'm going to show you how hard this boss is.
And then,
And then I sat down and I watched you beat it. And like the look on your face was just like, you couldn't even believe it.
no,
Like you're just in such awe that you finally did it.
the hours
Oh,
finally
Jesus.
paid off.
That
Dedication.
y'all remember Rage Quit on YouTube? There was
Yeah.
there was a series
Achievement
by
Hunter.
Achievement Hunter, and when you just said that, it reminded me of that, and I was like, I could see Drew doing something like this. I'm surprised he didn't make one of these channels already called Rage Quit or something like.
Some games get Drew going, some games don't, but that's the same with everybody. I mean, I bought Sekiro or Sekiro, however you want to pronounce it, and I'm stuck. I've beat all the other Souls games. I'm used to the combat, but just that game's just that's the hardest game I've played.
I feel like Troy, you got the most patience out of me or Drew. Like honestly,
I
out
think
of
he
any of us.
contains his patience the most. I don't think
Yes.
he has the most.
I do not know how he does it. I really
Well,
don't. Because
That's because after playing Dark Souls, if you try to fight bosses like angry, unless you kill it, you don't get better. Like you just get more angry. So you have to learn to hold it until it's really worth it. So like, if I'm like, I roll out of the way and I dodge that attack like 5 times and I do it the same way every time. And then it hits me and it just so happens that's the hit I die. I don't really contain my anger because to me, I was cheated.
Yeah,
And
I
I
would
mean,
agree.
yeah. And I am not, I get angry when I feel cheated by games. I don't really get angry that they're hard because I buy the game knowing it's difficult. But when I feel cheated or like, just like poor game design and I die, I have a very slim bit of patience.
very slim bit of patience. I don't know. It's hard to imagine me or imagine seeing you freaking out like that because I've never truly heard you get mad at a game except
broke-
maybe like a handful of times. But even
I
then,
broke-
it's not like that.
I broke a desk over Batman Arkham Knight or Arkham Asylum, I
I
think. So
remember
I was
that.
playing it on the hardest difficulty, and dude, I kept getting hit. I'd kill all the enemies and knock them out, and then the big brute would always clip me, like wouldn't full on hit me. He would just clip me, and it would do so much damage because I was playing on hardest difficulty. I stood up and I basically curve stomped my bottom of my desk and shattered it, and all the games fell out. And I quit playing Batman after that. I don't even think I beat it. I think I got to Joker and I was like, I'm not even playing it.
You never beat Arkham Asylum.
No, I beat it. I didn't
Oh,
beat it on the
okay.
hardest difficulty.
Okay.
But you know what?
Needless to say, Batman isn't your favorite superhero anymore.
Nope. And that was the old younger me. I no longer break things over games. I broke a chair over FIFA, and so now I stopped playing FIFA online unless I play with friends. And
Wish I could say the same.
well, I did all that when I was like 13, 14, and now I decided it's not worth it. You know, if my controller's already broke and I spike my controller, whatever, because I need a new one anyways. But I'm not paying $60 for a controller to go spike it the first day I get it.
Right.
I'm right there with you. We should have an episode just dedicated to the shit that we've done rage-wise. I know I could fill up at least half of that space.
I was about to say, I could come up with several stories between Drew or me. So we're just going to.
That's
clips.
Another episode. That would be a really good episode. Yeah, we can have some clips too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely have to.
All right. So I think that's pretty good. We're at 11 minutes right now for one question. That's a lot better than I thought.
Yes, right. Sir.
So now we're going to move on to the second topic or second question. I guess I'll just say question. Our favorite genre of game. So I went first last time, so one of y'all can go first this time.
Troy, you can go first.
All right. My favorite genre of game would I play games whenever I usually play. I usually play for the multiplayer, a lot for the competitiveness of playing other people. So I like first-person shooters and like third-person shooters. So like I like the old Call of Duties. I can play the new Call of Duties, but like, you know, it just doesn't feel the same.
No.
Like when you load up Black Ops 2 compared to like Cold War, there's a difference.
It isn't even the same.
So I enjoy that game. I really enjoy playing. I enjoy old Fortnite, like season 1, 2 Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That was really fun.
I thought Blackout was really fun. It did have a lot of mechanic issues, such as level 3 armor being a little overpowered, and but I mean,
yes.
it was fun.
I know all of us. It really did.
All of us played it a bunch. Warzone, I think, is pretty. I enjoy Warzone. I know a lot of people don't, and I totally understand why. I'm play
just
only with
out
friends.
On BRs, that's why.
But, I mean, yeah, for a while there, they were cranking out a BR every week.
That's I was gonna agree with Drew on that. Like, don't get me wrong, when Fortnite came out, that was probably one of the. Of course, you know the original battle royale was like Hunger Games, wasn't it? Like Minecraft.
PUBG,
Hunger Games.
Minecraft, and then Minecraft Hunger Games. PUBG was the first actual. Yeah.
Oh, really? When did? I didn't know PUBG was that
I think
old,
2013, 2011, something like that. I'm not
PUBG's
a paleontologist. I can't give you the exact date.
Right.
PUBG's old.
But no doubt after Fortnite, actually no, after Blackout was when I got burnt out on the battle royale.
I played
I can play with friends. I can't play it solo. PUBG is probably my favorite, just because in terms of realism, when I was being shot at, it actually like took skill to realize where I was being shot from. And my main gripe with Fortnite is like now it's just people been playing since it first came out, that they can build and save themselves. Like you can't get a jump on anybody unless you headshot them with a sniper. You cannot get a jump on anybody and kill them, because they're just going to build a tower, which I mean, you know, part of it is that's part of the game. Yeah. But I mean, for someone like me who just casually wants to play, it's like, it's not fun, because I know once I get to the top 20, they're all better builders than me.
Exactly.
So like
100%.
So I always carry grenades and I destroy the structures and they just build it right back.
Yeah,
and so it's like I don't know how to outplay them, because I can't outbuild them. So they're always going to be better than me. So to me, you know, PUBG, you can be the worst player in the lobby and you can get a jump on the best player and you can win that battle, which I think is fair. But in Fortnite, it's an element of, it's not a pay to win. It's a, if you've been playing since the beginning, no one can be better than you.
And I was gonna go off of that. There was a have you all seen this video? It's like when you shoot a Fortnite sweat, and like he shoots him. It's just, you know, you can tell it's planned out, but it's true. The guy shoots him once, and he builds a tower like 20 stories high, like once, and he just all the way up, and it's like Jesus Christ. But
it's true. Feels.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I do like the build battles though. Some of them, generally, if they felt like they were my skill level, the build battles were amazingly fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
But all it takes is, you know, when you run into a group of 4, probably you're going to encounter one of them who knows how to build. and the rest are just going to be throwing structures around, which is what I did because I'm not. There's no unless I had a keyboard and mouse, I wasn't constructing the things they built, which also kind of took out the fun of crossplay because I enjoy crossplay a lot, but I have a controller in my hand. I can't keep up with someone who has a keyboard and mouse who can throw their analog around and build. I can't, unless my sensitivity is to the max, I can't keep up with that.
Right, and that definitely brings out that I think Fortnite was meant to be a PC game in that aspect. If you're going to be doing that,
absolutely,
so
for sure.
I mean,
but at least they gave it an option. You can turn off crossplay. So
yeah,
you can't complain about it
but
that much.
You can still hook up your mouse and keyboard to the console.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
But yeah, I think that's
what's your favorite genre?
Definitely probably Call of Duty first-person shooters. I've never, and like you said, I'm more of a multiplayer person. I've never been a fan of playing by myself. Like, I'm sorry, some like you two, you can play like Dark Souls or whatever. What was the game that you played, Drew? That was like it was like Dark Souls, but it was a little
Demon Souls.
No,
there's Demon Souls. There's
Sekiro, Bloodborne,
Ghost of Tsushima.
Bloodborne. That's what it was called.
It's a little bit like that, not exactly.
But you know what I mean. Like you all can play by yourselves and have fun sometimes. But for me, I have always enjoyed playing with other people. So mainly multiplayer first-person shooters. I got hooked the second we went to Drew's house and we played Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, split screen.
I tell you what, that was
the
day that Drew got me hooked on that. And I just want to bring something up because I remember this day. I didn't know about zombies until Drew showed me, but he played World at War. But the thing that he did was he was like, Drayton, I'm not going to let you play because we know you suck. So we're going to give it to Troy, and Troy's going to play for you. Or it was either Troy or Bryce.
That?
Yeah, he did.
I remember that. Oh my God.
I had to sit there and watch you guys play Nocturne and Toten, and I was like, oh. Well, I mean, this is fun, but okay.
But I can't play.
but
Drew back then didn't play for fun. If you went to his house for split screen, you're best of the best. Unless we're playing multiplayer, in which case you'd beat the hell out of Bryce because Bryce would kill him. And it was only Bryce. God. I would kill him and he'd still beat Bryce.
Oh shit! The thing is, I don't remember Drew ever getting mad at me because, like he said, I sucked. So he would whip my ass, and then I couldn't do anything back. He would always.
He only got mad at Bryce, whether Bryce did it or not.
And I wasn't even that good either. I was so bad at Call of Duty up until the past couple years. Like I was horrible.
Which is funny because as soon as I got Call of Duty, I made it my goal to be better than you. So I freaking tried really hard. But we never really had that like one-on-one match until we actually got the same console to play on. But even then, so.
Well, Casey always tried in Battle Royales, he'd always come with me because he's like, I'd rather have Troy in a gunfight than Drew. And on his way to run to me, Casey would encounter so many enemies. And he would just get absolutely destroyed. And he would yell at one of us for not helping him. Granted, we all did that.
Yeah.
If we died alone, we all yelled at one or the other.
But anyway, to answer the question, definitely first-person multiplayer. So that's pretty much it.
What about you, Drew? I know you play a lot of sports, a lot of RPGs.
I like everything. I like sports games. I love MLB. That's one of my go-to games, mainly because I'm really good at it. So I like playing something I'm good at because I'm not good at a lot of games. I love RPGs, open world RPGs. I love not so much Fallout. I mean, I do enjoy it, but not as much as Elder Scrolls or Dragon's Dogma, the Souls series. I love games with magic and swords. That's like my favorite because I love like I don't know it. I think it all started with me watching like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Ever since then, I've really been into all that stuff. And I know some people that's not their cup of tea, but for me, that's like one of my favorite. Like it's just sword and shield magic, like fantasy, medieval stuff like that. I just can't get enough of it. So I enjoy first-person shooters as well. I think every type of genre has its place in my book. But if I'm just picking one to play for the rest of my life, I'm probably taking RPG.
Mhm.
action adventure RPG.
That's fair.
Well, I'm just going off of what you said about the open world games or whatever. How many times have you beaten Skyrim? I swear to God, it's got to be at least 20. Because
This could be its own episode. I've beaten it, I think, 3 or 4 times on the 360 with different characters. I have beaten it on the Switch, and I have beaten it on the PlayStation 5, I think 2 or 3 times as well. And I platinumed it on the PlayStation 5.
On the PlayStation 5?
I'm about to say the PlayStation
4.
5.
Jesus, why did I say 5? 4. 4.
I was gonna say,
5, 4.
holy crap, dude! You've already beaten Skyrim on the PS5.
It'll happen one of these days.
Calm down.
They're gonna make it. They're gonna make it an updated version. I'm gonna probably beat it on the PlayStation 5 as well.
I heard that, and I thought you had just been playing that nonstop. I was like, dude. Calm down.
I messed up. But and the funny thing is like I love Skyrim, but I like Oblivion better. But they just don't like care about that. And I finally got a gaming PC, so I could play it with mods. But Skyrim, they just keep throwing out like just updated versions of it. So that's why I keep playing it. But it's a really good game. But I'm a little burnt out on it now because I've played it so many times. I've done 95% of what the game has to offer, I'd say.
I would say so.
Well, yeah, if you platinumed it, yeah.
Yeah, and it takes a while. I'll tell you that, to find those Daedric artifacts, the 7 or whatever, takes a while.
Ooh.
But yeah.
Very nice.
So
very, very nice.
I really enjoyed that question. Okay. So now this is going to be a more lengthier one, I feel like, and we might have to like end the recording and then start up another one. I feel like it might not, but I feel like this is going to take a while. How gaming affects our lives. So you guys want to start first, or do you want me to start first?
I can start if you guys don't care.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to hear how it.
I mean, I'm gonna go at this as a more wider approach because I'm pretty sure you guys kind of know how it affects me based on the last questions.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the world, I mean, the state of the world we live in right now is, pandemic. You turn on the news and it's a bunch of bad stuff. Really, to kind of sound cheesy, it's like there's no heroes anymore. So, when you're bored, you're in quarantine, you can still communicate with people from all around the world. And even though you may not be able to meet them face to face or even in person ever in your life, you still have that bond. I mean, Drew, I know, has a bunch of friends. We talk to people in New York. We talk to people in Indiana. Like, I'm sure we've talked to people in Florida, California. Like, you build a bond with people that you don't even know. And really, when it comes to gaming, there's no political side of it. The only game I can say that had any political issues was Last of Us 2. And that was the last time I ever even heard anything political about any game, which, at this state of the world, I mean, sometimes, people don't want to hear about politics all day. People don't want to hear about COVID. People don't want to hear about this. They want to just sit down and just take their mind off everything, just play games, which I think is why video games is a excellent thing. And I feel like a lot of parents take it down, but I think it's actually worth something in today's society.
No, I think that's really really a good assessment on like what you feel about gaming, because I feel pretty much the same way. But to add on to that, I just like the escapism of it. I like how it gets you out of your current day situation. It gets you out of the mindset of school. It gets you out of the mindset of work, and you're just focused on doing something that you want to do. And some games are challenging, some games aren't, but at the end of the day, no matter how hard the game is, even if it's Dark Souls or something, you're not like engaged in a real world thing. And it's just, I mean, people have their vices. They have alcohol, they have drugs, but they have movies, they have books, they have board games, they have Netflix series. The list goes on and on. But for me, I've never felt the true connection with anything other than that, like maybe besides baseball, obviously. But aside from that, like it's just gaming. That's what I really enjoy doing. And that's what helps me. I honestly feel like it helps me get by day to day, because if I didn't have that vice, I don't know what I'd be doing. I don't know where I'd be, honestly.
And yeah, I mean, it's it's hard to explain. It's kind of a sort of achievement kind of thing. So like even at the end of the day, if you don't uh, succeed in whatever happened, you can come home and at least know that you can do well on this kind of thing. And it's fun to do that. It's fun to achieve with that kind of stuff. And I definitely didn't take it too seriously until I met you guys. Really, obviously I had games to play, but I never really truly got into it as much. And it just kind of opened up a world. And like you said, it introduced me to people that I never ever would have imagined I'd meet. And now I've met them, and they're great people. And it just shows that there are some pretty amazing people out there. So, I mean, it's definitely impacted my life, no doubt. And it's, I guess for me, it's just kind of the achievement factor of it. I like being able to have that feeling that I've accomplished something. So, it's definitely impacted and it's honestly helped me better myself, whether in school or anything, because it's kind of how I see it. It's an achievement. It's something I want to go for and I want to complete. So it's definitely, yeah.
That's good. Okay. So we're at what, like the 30-minute mark about? We're at 26 minutes. The next topic we can cover that we're going to cover is the direction that we see gaming heading and how we feel about it. So you guys have started the last couple of times, so I'll start on this one. I think there's both positives and negatives about the direction that gaming is heading. We're getting better graphics, better gameplay. I honestly think we're getting better stories in a lot of aspects. This is from the RPG side of things, though. There's a lot of negatives to go along with this too. Those are the positives I can think of right now. There's probably some more maybe it'll come to my mind, but I can go on and on about the negatives. And gaming isn't like just horribly negative like now, but there is a lot of things going the opposite way of what I'd like to see. Like sports games are now almost, besides MLB, all of them are pay to win. Almost every one of them, unless you spend countless hours playing like Madden or FIFA. I don't know. I haven't played it, but I assume FIFA because it's owned by EA. Hockey, NBA especially. I just don't like their systems they have in place. I think they could do better. If they're going to have the structure they have to where you have to pay for everything, I feel like they should just have the game free to play if they're going to do that, because they're sucking not only the $60 from your $70 right now if you have the newer consoles, they're sucking another 50, 60 from you just to start like your team or start your character in one of those games too. And the same can be said kind of sort of about like the first person shooters. I don't know if they're necessarily pay to win, but they have all this weird monetization set up to where just the skins and stuff are outrageous. Like the battle passes, that's fine, but because a lot of those are actually pretty good in my opinion. But we'll take Modern Warfare for instance. They had the watch that shows you how many kills or how many deaths or whatever you have. I don't remember exactly, but like, why should you have to pay for a simple feature like that? That's like having to pay to like see. Like, what the hell is that? And
I get that.
Yeah, there's good and then there's bad, and I'm not digging a lot of what's happening, but there are some really good I think the first person, not first person, the single player RPG, not only RPGs but just single player games in generals are really thriving.
Oh yeah.
Zoom removed the 40-minute time limit on this meeting? What?
Apparently they've been doing that for since everyone's in quarantine and
We're
stuff.
gonna keep going. Fuck yeah, dude.
Let's say it increased it. It said unlimited
I'm
minutes.
kind of
So
deep in this right now.
yeah, you are. You're getting
And-
deep, man. You're digging deep into this one. Keep
Yeah,
going,
the
though.
trenches
I
are
mean,
just piling up. But yeah, leaving off or going off of what I last said, can't remember exactly where I was, but I'm really digging the direction of first person RPG games that we got going. Ghost of Tsushima, one of my favorite games of all time, definitely in my top 3. It might be my favorite Sony PlayStation exclusive. It's up there with God of War for sure. Those are hand in hand, but I have a bias because I love samurai and stuff like that. But bias aside, that game is phenomenal. I encourage anybody who is thinking about getting that game, get it. It is one of the best games I've ever played. And then we got Cyberpunk, which hasn't came out, but it looks amazing. And I don't just get hyped about any games. You guys know me. You know I don't just get excited about anything. But this game looks like it has a lot of promise, and
it
I'm
looks
very
good.
excited to play it.
I've definitely seen the trailers, and I mean, it's definitely one of the games that, like you said, like you just look and you know that it's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
Like,
there's certain games like Skyrim you look at, you know it's going to be a good game. I'm not saying Cyberpunk will be that same level, but it's made by CD Projekt Red, who made The Witcher, and that's also a very, very good game. So I have no doubt in my mind that that game is at least going to be decent. If nothing else, it'll be decent. And I know that's kind of answering like another question, like what games we're excited for, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I think the direction that I see from gaming going is both positive and negative. You guys can take over.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of pay to win, I mean, the last one that was really, really bad, at least for Call of Duty, was Advanced Warfare. Yeah.
No doubt.
Because that one, literally, you pulled guns out of a box that had better stats.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, and I'm pretty sure that was the only Call of Duty that they did that in. But I mean, you cannot, I mean, sports games do it, but it's a little different in my opinion of sports games, because typically it's like an MVP card or something that's not released till that player actually does something good.
For sure.
It's not like, they take like a Patrick Mahomes and they just go, oh, it's Patrick Mahomes, so they do that with some players, but I think that multiplayer has gotten worse because I feel like now it's just set a tone that if you don't have items in game to purchase, then you won't make money, which I think is very, very, like, that's not true at all, because I mean, if they remastered, say, the first Black Ops or the second Black Ops, I mean, like, exactly how it was, maybe add a few more guns, kill streaks, and maps, and just add DLC like they always did, where, like, DLC came out every, like, 3 months, and they didn't have any battle pass, they didn't have any of that. I guarantee you they would make so much money, and they wouldn't even have to worry, because people are going to buy it, because that's what people like. They remaster these games, and then they try to put that, oh, well, you can buy this weapon, or, hey, remember the car? You can buy it in this weapon. And then you're just like, well, it's good in that game, must be good in this game. So that's why you buy it. So, I mean, they just kind of take advantage of gamers sometimes.
They do.
It's like our nostalgia. They just kind of are like, well, everyone liked this, so we'll release it, but make them pay for it. It's like,
yeah, I think part of it is, times changing, and like we're still kind of stuck back where we were, but it was just a lot better, I feel like, back like when we were growing up. Like, they're not throwing all this like kind of evil, like not evil, but well, it's kind of evil, but corporate practices like you were just talking about, like the loot boxes and stuff like that. When we were playing Call of Duty back then, the only damn thing you could buy in the game were the DLC maps or skins for your weapons. And it wasn't even that bad. It was like, what, like $2 or $3 for a skin on every gun? That's like what it is on Siege. That's not even bad at all. Like, if you want to do that, you can do it. I think I even bought like a skin, like in Black Ops 2.
I think I did too. You also buy a season pass.
Exactly.
Which was for the entire lifespan of the game.
Exactly.
Now you have to buy a battle pass every 30 days, every 45 days.
Yeah.
It's just their way of milking the money out of you. And going off of that, like you were all talking, like the weapons they introduced, Black Ops 2, as far as I know, is the only time that it was the first time that they introduced a new weapon that if you bought the DLC, you came with a new weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even the best weapon, which is fine. It was just another weapon to add.
Exactly.
But like, I don't know. It's just the way gaming is going now. Like you said, the graphics are getting better, and it's definitely looking better, no doubt. Because when you go back to well, granted, Black Ops 2 or even Black Ops, if you get it on the new console, because I played them on the Xbox One, and it definitely looked better, but it still played the same. And it's like, it looked a little better, and I get it. The graphics weren't that great, and they're all about graphics, making things high definition. That's great and wonderful, but it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't play the same, and I don't know. It's just one of those things that you can't help but miss the old games. And I honestly feel bad for new gamers coming in, or little kids that come in and play this stuff, because they never had a chance to go back and play those games, because they got a PS5 for Christmas or a PS4, and or whatever, and they don't bother playing the old games. So it's just kind of this is kind of sad in that aspect, I guess. But
Sure.
as far as the way gaming is going now, and I guess that's the reason I don't enjoy the sports games that you all play too much. I know, Drew, you tried to get me on MLB 18. Went back in 2018. You tried to get me on that, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I could definitely tell what's fun about it. But when you told me that, yeah, you may want to put $20 down to start your team, I'm like, yeah, I already don't like this. Like, I'm not gonna spend money to start my team, and I'm definitely not gonna spend money on COD to get these fancy weapon skins or weapons or whatever, because it definitely doesn't. I mean, it's meant to be fun, not meant. I mean, obviously it's fun to win, but
no,
there's no real point to do that. It's meant to be fun. So, but yeah, hopefully they figure that out soon. I really hope so, because they probably won't. I mean, honestly, it's probably just going to keep going downhill, because they want the money, and that's basically what the world's all about now, is money. Like back then, games like that, or old games like that, it was all about skill. Oh, yeah. And that definitely made me want to do better with these kind of games, is because you had to have the skill. And when Black Ops 2 came out, I remember I was psyched, but I sucked at it, because I didn't take it too seriously. But I remember one summer I played that every single day. I'm talking every day. My PS3 exploded, basically, because I played it so much, and I burnt the disc because I played it so much. Why? Because it was fun, and the competitive aspect of it also enjoyed, because they had league play, and I like that. But I don't know, the way things are going now, it just doesn't seem the same. So
not even close.
Are we gonna end it on our favorite games?
You guys want to, or you want to keep going? It's up to you guys. I'm fine with either or.
I'm down to end it on that, because I feel like we have a bunch of content already for our first one.
Okay.
So I mean, we could end it on that, and then save some of these for the next one. That gives us another 5 to work off of.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, so I guess we'll end it right here. Well, not right here, but we're gonna end it on this final question: our favorite game of all time. And one of you guys want to start, or do you want me to?
I mean, I can start again. My favorite game of all time, probably, that I can pick up and just play, surprising to some. Well, it may not surprising, but it's probably gonna sound weird. I really enjoy the first Dark Souls. And that's because when you actually dig deeper into the first Dark Souls, it's more than just it's the hardest game ever. There's a lot of story that every time I play it, I learn something a little, something new each time. Because if you actually examine the weapons, examine the scenery, examine where you're going, there's actually a good story behind it. And there's a lot of YouTubers who dedicate channels to just the lore of Dark Souls, which I would recommend checking out if you're into the Souls games. And I mean, it's one of the best stories that I've ever played. And it's not one of those
Hmm.
stories that's like I go and talk to this person. Like you don't even really have to talk to many people to understand the story, which I enjoy because that leaves it up to, okay, well, you play through it a second time. It's like, oh, that's why I went here. It's like, oh, that's why I need to defeat this boss. And I just think that for a game that came out in 2008 or 9, that's actually really incredible that they were able to make it that way.
Absolutely.
I definitely wouldn't mind playing the Dark Souls. I've been meaning to because I've not only because they're a challenge, I wouldn't mind bragging about it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there's obviously something to get people going there, so I wouldn't mind trying it out at some point.
It's worth it, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's pretty challenging, but those games are phenomenal. Honestly, the gameplay, the stories, you can't go wrong with them. I guess I'll go next. Um, I can't just say my favorite game of all time without mentioning at least a couple of my other favorites. No particular order. Red Dead Redemption 2 is up there. Um, Skyrim is up there, and Ghost of Tsushima is up there, and also Ninja Gaiden, Sigma or Black, I forget which one. It's on the was on the PlayStation. Those are some of my favorite games of all time. But if you know me, my favorite game of all time is Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I love that game so much. It is probably the best gaming experience I've ever had.
I love that game too.
It
It's
was
really
it was like the first actual RPG ever like made, like the first true like with like 3D graphics in first person.
mm-hmm.
It's what started
Really?
all these other series. It's like the godfather of it, and just the in like the environment, like even though it's not like perfect like games are like nowadays where everything just coagulates just perfectly and fits. That game was so ahead of its time. While the graphics and gameplay might not be the best, it has so much to offer. You can play that game for probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours if you're just picking it up for the first time without getting bored. And then on top of that, there's mods and other stuff like that. And the story is nothing crazy, but the side quests are really fun. The story's decent. And like the magic is just so fun to use in that game. You can make your own spells. You can enchant your weapons. You can buy your own like homes and houses and decorate them to a certain degree the way you want. And while the combat's not the best, I mean, the game was made in like what 2003 or 5, something somewhere in between
Oh
there.
yeah.
So it is so old. Like, so you got to just give it props where props is due for being able to make that game in the time period that it was made in, because it was so ahead of its time. But
Oh yeah.
that's what I got. So, Drayton, you want to end it off?
Um, like you said, I had several, but I think I'm gonna narrow it down to two. The first one, I guess I'll consider my favorite game is Last of Us. I can't help it. I love it. I love the game. I've played the campaign at least over a dozen times, and I just I just really love the story. I really love the character connection. Now, Last of Us 2, it can go burn because I don't.
Yeah.
I honestly, Naughty Dog, when they made Last of Us, they said that they were gonna end it on that. Is what they initially said was The Last of Us is its own game. We're not gonna make a second one, but they did, and I really wish they didn't because I liked how The Last of Us ended.
Yep.
Because it essentially just gave you this vibe like, okay, so this story that we know of is done, but they're still gonna keep going. They're still gonna keep surviving, and there's, I guess, still hope for survival. And I just love that aspect, especially these two individuals, Joel and Ellie versus the world. I just really love that aspect. I've always loved those kind of things. Like there's a movie called The Dark Tower. Um, it hasn't gotten that best, and I can see why people diss it because it's kind of ridiculous in its story. But I like the aspect that it's this guy and this kid, and they're against basically the world. And I love those kind of games.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely Last of Us. And honestly, it wouldn't be my top tier if it didn't have multiplayer. The second they added
That,
multiplayer,
yeah.
that definitely
Yes.
added a lot of fun to it. So
That was probably one of the most fun multiplayers I ever played. Mainly with friends.
yeah,
Alone,
no
it was
doubt.
fun, but with like 4 friends, oh my god, it was.
And that's the thing. You just needed 4 people. Like that's all you needed was 4, and then you had a
I-
team, and you can
I-
just
Was it 4 or
So
3?
much.
It was teams of
4.
4, right?
yeah.
I think it was 4, maybe
Yeah.
even.
Okay, so you need 3 other people.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
which you
4
can
probably.
easily find 3 other people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. It's just I don't know. It's amazing, and the maps are you can learn the maps really quickly, and it's definitely a really fun experience. But my second one, I'm just gonna say is Black Ops 2 because after playing Black Ops 1, it was pretty good, but the story, like that was what got me because the story started kicking me in the rear because you see Woods, he's telling the story about what he did when he was and it was a big shocker when he was still alive. I remember that. It was like, holy crap, Woods is still alive because you remember he blew up with Kravchenko in Black Ops 1. So, but once you follow along with the story, it's like, I really, really like it. I remember I used to hate the futuristic levels because I remember I liked the old, like when it was Alex and Woods back in the, but once you connect it all, it's pretty good. And then obviously the multiplayer and zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was the one Call of Duty that all 3 worked. Like all 3, the campaign, the multiplayer, the zombies, it all worked. But ever since
Black
then,
Ops 1 and 2.
1 and 2, 1 and 2. It's the multiplayer, the zombie. Like yeah, Black Ops 2 and 1.
And 3 was solid too, but
Yeah, I mean it was okay.
but it did not live up to the first 2. Not even close.
They shouldn't have made the
Zombies
campaign.
did, but aside from that,
Exactly. Like multiplayer and zombies were good. They should
Yeah.
not have even bothered with the campaign. I'm sorry,
No.
but no.
Yep. And you saw that from Black Ops 4. They said, nope,
No,
not
yeah.
gonna do it.
But I don't think they knew where to go with it. I mean,
No, I mean
they went from like 2 stories that made sense back to back to a story that had nothing to do with the first 2 games. So it's
Exactly.
like, well,
they
didn't know what to
mentioned
do.
Raul Menendez in Black
Yes.
Ops 3 like
that was
once, and that was it. But it was like the most subtle thing that you could even.
That was just a length.
No, that was
Pretty
one of
much,
the
that
worst
was
stories.
just the length timelines.
It was cool how you could go back and play it like with zombies as the enemies, though.
Yeah.
Like the campaign.
I thought
But
it was
no,
alright.
the campaign was not good at all.
No. But
No.
anyway,
Alright.
that's that was my favorite game.
So is that all we got for
Alright.
today, boys?
I think so.
I think so.
All right, I'm going to end the recording here. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to post this up on YouTube. If I can figure out how to get the audio, I'll post that to podcast places. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for watching. See you later.
See you
Peace
guys.
out.
Peace.